So this is my S13. I had a 72 Super Beetle. I used to buy, trade, and sell all the time, and this guy out of Nashville was a master tech for Nissan and had this thing and said it was like his 70th S chassis, and he just wanted a Beetle. So it used to have an SR in it, and he wanted me to throw some cash on top, but I was in college and didn't have the money, and so he ripped the SR engine out of it, left the SR transmission and the coilovers and the adjustable links with the J30 limited slip diff in the rear. And so for the next 4 years I got this thing. It was all red shell, and for the next 4 years we went out and found 2 different KAs. This is the second one. The first one had a bad rod, and this one threw a rod last week, so that's the KA life, I guess. But I'm making this video because I guess we're about to get rid of it tomorrow, and I've had it for 4 years, so it's been a long road, and just wanted to document everything on it. So this is the second KA through a rod. We've got everything is new on it. I bought just the block and head together, and bought the new water pump, distributor, even wiring specialties harness. We actually have an S14 intake we cleaned up and some stuff, and because it doesn't have the butterfly valves in the runners, so you get a little bare airflow. Other than that, it's really just a factory engine with an EGR delete to it, and everything just done as cleanly as I could do it. But interestingly enough, the guy who had it, or somewhere down the road, somebody had chopped the fuse block ends off, and I had never wired a car before, so when I started pulling the sub harness for the engine out, I started pulling the fuse boxes out with it because it was all just soldered together and I didn't realize it. So by the time I had half the wiring out of the car, I realized how old and janky all the wiring kind of was, and decided it was time to learn to wire. And so once we got all the engine components new, we did delete the power steering on there and just looped the fluid lines there together, no reservoir, nothing. But we did have to wire the car from scratch without a body harness, so we just got the $700 wiring specialties, pro harness there, which is great because it can plug up to single cam or dual cam harnesses. It can do auto, or it can do, if it's an auto conversion, to 5-speed, you've got the auto plugs on there as well. So it can work across multiple platforms for multiple engines, or for multiple platforms with the KA engine. But interestingly enough, we did have some issues inside with the wiring, and I'll show you here in just a minute. And then after all the wiring in the trunk and for the engine and the inside for all the lighting and everything, the wipers, the turn signals work like factory, and even the hazard switch works like factory. The wipers only got to work on one setting though, because I didn't have the, I do have a timing module, but I didn't wire it in because I'm lazy. And but other than that, what's more impressive on the car is actually what's underneath it than what you see on the outside with the spray paint job and whatnot. But underneath the car, we're running a full suspension. And we've also got a NX cluster in the car as well that I wired up from scratch. I've even got the OBD port inside, and I could wire it into the F1 plug to have the OBD work, as a matter of fact. The check engine light even works. So we're really happy that all the lights and everything work, considering I didn't know how a relay worked 2 years ago. But thanks to dear old Dad being an electrical engineer, you know, I could poke and prod his brain, and he kind of showed me the way through some of this stuff. But for the most part, I had to learn it myself and just trace it through the FSM pages and all that good mess. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just a stock S13 really, with full exhaust on it, 421 headers, aftermarket radiator, electric fans, power steering delete. We are running the bigger J30 brakes, which are the same size as the Z32s, with a Z32 master cylinder and an auto brake booster, because it was originally an auto car, actually, single cam auto car originally. But you've got a little added steering angle in there as well, with the extended lower control arms and S14 tie rods and stuff going on. It's also got even S14 front spindles on the front that we're running, as well as the J30 hubs in the rear. We've got full poly all throughout, with solid subframe risers. And we also even undercoated the entire underside, and from the trunk to the firewall inside and bed liner when we did that. It did actually have an S14 dash in it when I got it, with the full S14 leather interior, even rear seats modified to fit. I did go back to an S13 dash in it, a crackless one, but I did keep the S14 leather seats because they look good. And that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching my video.